All right, fam, we got two more sections of this chapter. We are on chapter 4, section 5. We're talking Pythagorean theorem again. So remember what Pythagorean theorem is that we practiced yesterday. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we talked a lot about how the most important thing is that the hypotenuse is the side opposite of the right angle. Okay, it's the longest side, and your other two are called the legs. Okay, that's some vocab from yesterday to remind you. So we still have the same stuff. And here's the important thing. C is always the longest side. There were a couple of you that I talked to about the quizzes yesterday. We're mixing up sides with angles. So make sure when I'm talking about a side in a triangle, we are talking to one of like the flat edges and not one of the points. Okay, that's different. We're talking sides here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up Pythagorean theorem. And what I need you to make sure that you're understanding is that letter C is the hypotenuse. It is across from the right angle. And letter C is always the longest side. Okay, so the longest side, the biggest number, that is always going to be the C. Okay, and now we're going to talk about, is the triangle right? Meaning, does it have a right angle in it like this one? Or is it going to be an acute triangle, or is it going to be an obtuse triangle? And we will write this on our note card, but this is what you're going to reference. So let me figure out how to do this problem. I'm still going to use a squared plus b squared and c squared, but I have to decide if it's equal, if it's greater than, or if it's less than. So what are we going to do? Here's the important thing. I need you to find the longest side, the biggest number. The biggest number is always the C, okay? That is step one, and that is extremely important. The other two are going to be A and B. It does not matter which one is which, but the C matters. The biggest side, the longest one, is the one we're going to call C. So now I'm going to set up A squared plus B squared, and I don't know if it's equal or less than or greater than, so I'm going to leave a box there. I am going to choose one of these three to put in there. And it's going to determine whether I have an equal sign or a greater than sign or a less than sign. I need to figure that out. So what is A again? A is 5, so I'm going to replace A with 5. What was B again? B was 2, so I'm going to replace B with 2. I don't know what goes here, but what was the C? The C was the most important part. It was the biggest number. It was 6. Now let me crunch these numbers. 5 squared is 25. 2 squared is 4. How does that compare to, what's 6 squared again? That's 36. 25 plus 4 is 29. How does that compare to 36? So what do I put in here? Are they equal? No. 29 and 36 are not equal. Okay, which one of these do I use? Do you remember, I don't know when it was that you learned the inequality symbols, which is the greater than sign or the less than sign. But it's, if you kind of think of it as an alligator mouth, the mouth wants to eat the bigger number. So which way do I put my mouth here? It wants to eat the bigger number. Whoops. Think about it as an alligator mouth. Do it with your hands, like make that symbol with your hand and crunch. It wants to eat the bigger number. So because it is this symbol matches this one, I am going to write obtuse. And I'm going to write it in blue. And that is because this symbol right here matches this one. And next to that, I wrote obtuse. Let's try another one. I'm going to do A squared plus B squared. I don't know what symbol is going to go here. I'm going to figure it out. Which one is the biggest number? This is the C. Because it's the biggest number always, okay? Make a note to myself. Biggest number is C. Always. Okay. So now I'm going to plug in my other numbers. The other two don't matter. This will be the A, this will be the B. So I will put, instead of A, I'll put 5 squared. Instead of B, I'll put 8 squared. I don't know what goes in the box, but the C is the 9 squared, okay? So instead of A, I put 5. And instead of B, I put 8. Cool? Now, what I'm going to do is crunch some numbers. 5 squared is 25. Check your calculator if you need to. 8 squared, that means 8 times 8. It's 64. How does that compare to 9 squared is 81? What happens when I combine 25 and 64? I get, what, 89? And the alligator mouth wants to eat the bigger number, so the alligator mouth is eating the 89 and not the 81. Now let's match up those symbols. This symbol goes with this one, so I'm going to write acute. Excellent. Okay, let me try one more. Okay, which one's the biggest side? This one is the biggest number. So I'm going to put a C right there. The other two are A and B. It doesn't matter which one's which. I'm going to put A squared plus B squared, giant box, because I don't know how to fill it in. It's either going to be equal, less than, or greater than, but remember that the biggest number is always the C. All right, next to the A, I wrote 8, so it's 8 squared. Next to the B, there's a 15, so I'm going to put 15 squared. And the C is the longest side, that's 17. Now I'm going to use my calculator. 8 times 8 is 64. 15 times 15 is 225. 17 times 17 is 289. When I add these two together, see if I can do it in my head. 2, 8, 9. Wow, those are equal. That's the same exact number on each side, so I don't need an alligator mouth. But let me zoom out. Which one is it when I do equal again? This is an equal sign, and equal is right there. Ooh, this is a right triangle. Because Pythagorean theorem works. It is equal on each side, right. So that, my friends, is what you're doing. Make sure that you know. Let me go through these really quick. This one is the C. What else do we know down here? Which one is the C down here? Ooh, this one. Biggest number is the C. And last one. Biggest number here is the C. And you should know what to do after that, okay? Get cracking on Delta Math. Let's see how it goes. Love you all.